Now we look at the next concept or the next type of the loop statement called the do while loop. So this loop executes the code block once first before checking the condition. Alright. So unlike the other first two loops that we've looked at, you can see that the while loop first of all checks the condition, and if the condition is true is when it will execute the code below it. But the do while loop, it first does the task once, then after that it goes and checks the condition. If the condition is true, it will come back and execute it again and again. But if the condition is false, it will break. But at least it will execute the code block once. Alright. So let us take an example of the do while loop to see what we're talking about. So here I'm going to add another statement and saying console dot log printing the array elements using the do while loop. Using the do while loop. Yes, Thomas, welcome to the class. We have started and we were looking at the loops. So now we are looking at the do while loop. So below here, let us add the code to demonstrate how the do while loop works. So the syntax for it is we use the keyword do, and then here we specify what is to be done. So we want to console dot log we need to console dot log we use the same variable dot log numbers dot numbers count. Then below it we write the condition. So we use the while, and in bracket we say count is less than numbers dot length, and then we stop it there. So the syntax is as follows. So we first use the do, we provide the statement in within this, and then after that we provide the condition. So when we save this and rerun the program, you can see that it gives you printing the elements using the do while loop, and here it gives you undefined. Why is it giving us undefined? Let's see if we have count, if count is visible here. So let's use 0 here. So you can see it prints, first of all it prints the value 1, then it stops. Let me use the count value. Let me declare another variable instead of using count. So I'm going to have another variable called let c, variable c equals to 0. Then do console.log numbers at position c, and then while c while c is less than, numbers dot length, go back here, so I'm going to say c plus plus. Alright, so let me save the changes and then run the program again. So you can see when we are printing the numbers using the do while loop, we are able to print them here. So the first thing that happens before even the condition is checked here, we are printing the first number and then we increment the variable c by 1. Then after that we check the condition. So the condition is that c is less than 6, because numbers.length will give us 6, because these numbers contains of 6 elements. So the condition is true, and since it is true, it will go back and execute again this block of code until the point where c is not less than 6, and it will break or it will stop. But let us deliberately make this condition false at the start. So here I'm going to change this comparison, and instead of using less than, I'm going to use greater than. So we all know that c is equals to 0, and 0 is not greater than 6. And this condition, when it executes, it will be false. But in spite of being false, at least this condition will be executed once, and that is the function of a do while loop. So when we save that and rerun the program, you can see that printing the elements using the do while loop, the statement has been executed once, and then after that the condition is checked, and when the condition was checked it was false, and therefore the loop breaks, but at least it has been executed once. So that is the difference between the other loops and the do while loop, and that's why we said here the do while loop executes the code at least once before checking the condition. Unless you have a question, you can ask where it is not clear. Any question? Right, so if we are all good with the 3 loops, then we are good to go. There are other 2 loops which I want you to look at, and the reason I have not done them here is because they will be more relevant when we look at the other concepts. So in the meantime, you can go and research about these other loops. Here we have where is the section for the loops. Can look at the for in loop and for of loop. All right. So that's it. Let me pause this clip about the loops before we navigate to the next lesson on conditional statements.